Hello, I'm your host, Jean-Paul Baran, President of Focus on the Family Canada. Welcome to the Thriving Family, a Focus on the Family Canada podcast. This is the space where family, faith, and culture intersect. Thanks to generous donors who support our ministry, you can enjoy the Thriving Family podcast ad-free without any interruptions. In this season of the podcast, we're talking about healing scars. These are difficult and challenging topics, but I'm so thankful to serve God, the great physician who has the power to restore all. In today's episode, we're diving into the realm of anxiety. My family has experienced anxiety, and I know that it can be difficult to find a way out of that heightened state on our own. Thankfully, God provides us with helpful tools and resources, which we explore in this episode. Let's dive in.
In her mid-20s, Allie stepped down from her job at a Christian organization, feeling too stressed to continue. After moving back in with her parents, a friend asked her to house sit while they were on vacation, and she thought it was a great opportunity to spend some time alone to reflect on her next steps. Initially, she was running on adrenaline, but when she settled in for some time with the Lord, her heart began to race. She began to sweat profusely. She felt physically ill, and her thoughts began to spiral uncontrollably. What if I can't find another good job? What if I do find something, but I can't handle it? Are people going to think that I'm a failure? Has God abandoned me? This was her first panic attack, though not her last in the weeks to come. These kinds of experiences are debilitating, leaving us feeling crippled with fear and unable to move forward with purpose and meaning. This is only one form of anxiety. Others include generalized anxiety, social anxiety, obsessive-compulsive disorder, etc. These are all commonly experienced even by people who have a deep relationship with God. There are those who teach that worry or anxiety is a sin and that God disapproves of the Christian who indulges in such activity. This perspective of anxiety is not only wrong, but it can be incredibly damaging to those who are anxious or who have an anxiety disorder. When we read in Scripture that God's people are told to fear not, it can be easy to misunderstand this command and feel shame when we experience anxiety. What it means, though, is that even though there might be a reason to fear or be anxious, followers of God can be assured that His presence is with them, that He will protect and sustain them even in the worst of circumstances. Anxiety is not typically a choice people make. It is an atomic response to a real or perceived threat. Allie did not choose to have a panic attack. Rather, she began to reflect on what her future might hold, and her thoughts and fears began to overwhelm her, physically as well as mentally, even though she still had a strong faith in God. Dr. Daniel Siegel, a psychiatrist and author of The Whole Brain Child, explains the difference between the quote-unquote downstairs brain and upstairs brain. When our anxiety is triggered, it is because the amygdala, which is part of the downstairs brain, has kicked in to warn us of danger. Before we can think through a response, we instinctively go into a fight, flight, or freeze response. When we are functioning out of the downstairs brain, we are not able to access our upstairs brain, where we can make rational, well-thought-out decisions. While this instinctive response to danger is all part of God's design, it should be noted that we all experience fear and anxiety to varying degrees, depending on genetics, circumstance, biochemistry, or trauma. The good news is that God also designed us to be thinking beings, and to counter anxiety, we need to be able to re-engage the upstairs brain. In 2 Corinthians 10:5, Paul tells us to take every thought captive to obey Christ. This can be an excellent tool as we move from being controlled by the downstairs brain to utilizing our God-given upstairs brain. Let's go back to Allie and her terrifying experience. As she feels overwhelmed with worry about her future, her downstairs brain is screaming at her. But simple tools such as deep breathing, taking a brisk walk, or distracting herself with music can help Allie re-engage her upstairs brain by countering her negative thoughts, or what Paul calls taking thoughts captive, with a few simple questions. Fear will ask, "Is it true that God has abandoned me?" Truth will answer, "No, I don't see any evidence of that. He gave me a safe place to land for now and has promised to be with me." Fear will ask, "Have people actually said that they think that I'm a failure?" Truth will answer, "No one has said that." Fear will ask, "Is it true that I will not be able to handle the demands of another high-pressure job?" Truth will answer, "This experience has taught me some things about how I handle stress and ways I can put supports in place so I can manage some of those things better." Fear will ask, "What if I can't find another good job?" Truth will answer, "It might take a while and it might not be perfect, but I am employable and have insurance while I search. Maybe this isn't so hopeless. Now that Allie's upstairs brain is functioning again, and she is better able to think rationally about her anxieties, she can begin to move forward again, faith intact, trust in God restored and no longer paralyzed by fear. For those who have become overwhelmed by their anxious thoughts, it can be difficult to find a way out of that heightened state on our own. While God did provide us with an upstairs brain, He also provided us with helpful resources. Counseling, support groups, or even doctor-prescribed medication are all available to help spirit-filled believers like Allie manage their anxiety. If this episode raised more questions than answers, or if you wish to further explore the subject of anxiety, please check out the show notes for resources and support, including a free video series and digital booklet from Focus on the Family Canada.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of The Thriving Family, a podcast from Focus on the Family Canada. If you like this episode, please leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts, and be sure to subscribe. If you feel led, you can make a donation at focusonthefamily.ca/podcastgiving. This program is available ad-free because of the generosity of our donors. If you wish to talk about this further, or if it brought up something that you would like to talk through, you can have a free one-time consultation with one of our registered counsellors at Focus on the Family Canada over the phone. Give us a call at 1-800-661-9800 to request a consult. It's our gift to you. Most importantly, please remember that we are here for you and your family.